We should be live on Facebook group. Okay. There we go. So we are live in the Facebook group. Going to get started today in a couple minutes. We're going to go over how to start your own Airbnb management company and how we're doing it, how we're picking up properties on Airbnb, and the strategies and everything to use that we're using today. So welcome to the Facebook group at Chicago Wholesale Deals Live. We're live every week, Monday at 1 p.m. Central Time, going over various topics on real estate investing. And today we're talking about start your own Airbnb management company. Okay. And if you're new, just getting started, if you go to the guide section here, we have hundreds of replays of recordings for the last maybe 3 years or so, 3.5 years. Check it out there, and you can pretty much every topic. We go over pretty much every topic on real estate wholesaling, rent to own, Airbnb. You can check it out here in the replay. So we'll get started here. And that's all free. Like you guys can, like do deals. With the training that we provide, you can start doing deals for free. You don't have to pay for anything. But we're gonna get started. If you're in Chicago area, you're not on our buyers list, join our buyers list if you're looking for fix and flip deals or deals that you can cash flow. We get about a couple, like 2 or 3 new deals a week in Chicago market. We're also in different markets around the different markets as well. We have like 40 plus properties under contract in different states as well, in Florida and Texas, and we had one in Alabama. Hey Trayvon, how you doing, man? You're in the actual process of starting one now. Awesome, man. Hopefully today I could give you insight on what we're doing. We just listed one a new Airbnb today that should bring in over $1,000 a month in profit for our company. So just one deal. If you need a buyer, maybe you have a wholesale deal, maybe you have a deal on a contract and you help with, send us the deal. We can take a look at it. We also manage Airbnbs as well. So if you have a deal that may be a good potential Airbnb, you can take a look at that as well. And we have a free gift, kingdomREIacademy.com. We have a free training on our 5-offer system on basically how to wholesale properties, how to do rent to own, how to do Airbnb. And if you go through the training, I always say rent to own and owner financing are like interchangeable. The reason we don't do owner financing a lot in Chicago is because attorneys usually kill those deals, and it's usually a waste of time for everybody. So we just change it into rent to own. But if you're making like if you're in a city like in a state like Florida where owner financing is pretty easy to do without attorneys killing the deal, then you can interchange that offer, like the rent to own offer, with owner financing. It's the same terms, it's just different terminology and different paperwork when you're doing the deal. So learn rent to own, learn owner financing, learn wholesaling, learn how to Airbnb. There's basically strategies on how to flip and cash flow houses without investing a lot of cash, without getting into debt. So that's free, kingdomREIacademy.com. You just gotta log in, put your information in, and you get right to the training right away. So today we're gonna talk about how to start an Airbnb management company. First, I want to share, see if I can share some stats here. So we have maybe over 2,000 reviews on Airbnb, and half of the guests don't leave reviews. I mean, we probably have had over 4,000 guests in our Airbnbs over the course of I don't remember how many years we started that ago, but it was probably maybe 6 years ago we started Airbnb. I'm thinking. Let me see. I think it was 2000 and I think it was 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, around 2017. So this is our Airbnb payout from 2017 to 2023. You guys can see I'm in my Airbnb account and I'm in my transaction history. And it was 2.667 million paid out in the last 6 years on Airbnb. Of course, that's not all profit. You know, a lot of it is we have to pay, mortgages and expenses, but that's the total revenue we got from Airbnb over the course of 6 years. So we have tons of experience. We have over probably like 4,000 guests in our Airbnbs, and we've been doing it for about since 2017, so it's 6 years now. So to start an Airbnb management company, and what's awesome too is that like I earn enough just from Airbnb where I don't have to even work in it. So I mean, I don't have to, the income coming from Airbnb is more than my bills every month. So I don't have to do more deals because the cash flow from the Airbnb pays the bills. So that's where I think everyone wants to get to, is when you have enough cash flow where all your bills are paid from all the cash flow from your business, right? And I'm going to go over on how you can do that, how we did it, and how you can copy that. So starting an Airbnb management company requires careful planning, research, and preparation. Here are some steps you can follow to get started. First, you got to research your market. You got to figure out, of course, if Airbnb is even allowed in your market. Some villages, suburbs have banned it. Some cities have banned it completely. Some, like Chicago, make you go through a registration process, and then make you pay fees in order to get your Airbnb license to Airbnb your property. So you got to research the market, research the area and where you're looking to, and make sure you research the laws, right? What's going on, and then in some cities may be okay with it, but if they have a HOA, and the HOA, which is a homeowners association in the building, if they ban Airbnb, you can't do it in that certain maybe townhouse or condo or even single family home where they have HOA, right? You got to research, and then you got to look at maybe someone's about to pass a law, like today it could be legal, and then tomorrow they could ban it in that city or suburb, or even in that building in the HOA. So you gotta research the city, see what's going on, see if any laws are going to pass against it, right? So research your market, determine demand for Airbnb, look at factors such as number of Airbnb rentals, the competition, the types of properties being rented. Go on Airbnb yourself, pretend that you're trying to book a property in the area, and then research all the competition and see how much, they're getting, see how in demand they are, right? And if there's no competition, it could be a good thing or a bad thing. So I had Airbnb before where there was literally no Airbnbs in the area. And I figured it was, first I thought it was, they banned it in the area, but then I realized they did it. So I was the only Airbnb in the neighborhood, and we made a killing off of it, or you made a lot of money off of it because we're the only ones in the neighborhood. So it could be a good thing or a bad thing if there's nothing in the neighborhood at all. So you got to check out like what is actually going on there, right? So if you're the only one there and it's completely legal, it may be a good thing, not a bad thing. So watch out for that, right? And again, if you go on Airbnb and pretend you're booking as a guest, you can see all the comps nearby. You can zoom in on a map and research all the competition and figure out how much they're getting per night. And you can look at the demand on their calendars, right? So if you go into an area where maybe there's 30 or 40 Airbnbs, in that specific pocket, and all their calendars are not booked, And that means there's really no demand in the area. They're probably not making much at all. Vice versa, if you see 30 or 40 Airbnbs in an area and they're all completely booked and it looks like they're in high demand, then that may be a good option. That may be a good area to go to, right? So research your market. There's also companies like AirDNA we use. AirDNA, you can go on AirDNA, and they have a lot of data that you can pay for to see the competition in the market. So we do use that a lot too. And you got to find out is it legal in your area, like I talked about. The second step is you got to develop a plan. The first step is research your market, make sure you can do it in your market. Second step is develop a business plan, write a detailed plan that outlines your goals, your target market, your budget, your strategies for growth. This plan will serve as your roadmap to move forward with your business. So are you, what's your strategy, right? Are you gonna be renting them and then turning around and Airbnb-ing it? Of course, you got to do that with the owner's permission. Are you rent and owning the property, turn around and Airbnb it? Are you owner financing the property, turning around and Airbnb it? Or are you just doing like a management, like you're just managing the property for a fee, right? So there, you can own the property as well and turn it into Airbnb. But these are the ways you can turn Airbnb: is you're renting it, you're rent owning it, you're owner financing it, or you're managing it, or you just simply own the property and you turn it into an Airbnb, right? We're using multiple. We have properties that we own that are Airbnb. We have properties that we are rent to owning and they're on Airbnb. And then we have properties that we're just managing on Airbnb. So we kind of use different strategies. So what we do is when sellers come in, we do wholesale properties too. So we do offer cash, but then we also offer rent to own. And then we see if it's maybe a better option to turn it into a management deal where we just manage the deal. Then instead of doing rent to own, we'll just turn into we just manage the property. So yeah, you can just get a normal lease. Make sure in the lease you have it where it's allowed that you can do rent to own. I mean, that it's allowed that you can turn around and do Airbnb. Rent to own is like you own the property. It's very similar to owner financing. So rent to owning the property is something that I think we prefer to use the most. We even done deals where we rent to owned it, listed it on the MLS, and we had it on Airbnb at the same time. We've done that multiple times, where if it didn't sell, we're making money, but if it sold, then we we got our equity out. So that's another strategy that you can use. Same thing with owner financing. Once you owner finance it, it's like you own the property, so you can turn around and sell it. You can Airbnb it. You can rent own it to someone else, right? How many will you acquire per month, per year? You got to make a plan, a goal, right? Like how many, what's your plan? What's your goal, right? If you don't have a goal, then you don't really know where you're going, right? So if you got to write down, hey, I'm looking to pick up at least one Airbnb a month using these strategies. Either I'm rent to owning, I'm owner financing, or I'm doing a management deal. We don't do normal rentals and then turn around and Airbnb them. What we focus on is rent to own or management is the two strategies that we really are using now. So write down a plan. Like your goal should be like bare minimum, one a month, right? Like you're trying to get at least one Airbnb up and running a month. And if you do that, you can say that, let's say, let's say that each Airbnb, your goal is to get $1,000 in cash flow a month, and you pick up 12, you want a month. At the end of 12 months, hopefully you should be making $12,000 a month in cash flow, right? And one thing I do want to mention too is that if you are going to do this, rent to own, and then turn around and Airbnb it or owner finance it, or even just rent it, you have an investment, right? Like, so you have to invest into first month's rent, security deposit. You got to invest into the furniture. You got to buy it yourself, right? So these three strategies up here, you may have to invest 10,000 of your own money invested, and that's going to turn on a healthy cash flow you 1,000 to even more. If I'm investing 10,000, my goal is to make at least 2,000 a month. So if I don't see that, then I'm probably not going to do that, right? And then with the managing, when you're managing the deal, it's the owner pays for the furniture. So you don't have any equity involved in it. You're just managing the deal. You're just managing the deal for a fee. And typically, when we're managing the deals, we're trying to get like 25% of the revenue. You can get up to 30%. The lowest will go is 20%. So anywhere from 20 to 30% is your management fee. And then you can structure it different ways. You can ask for, we had owners that were kind of skeptical on it, and we told them, hey, listen, you'll get the first 2,000 up front. Then anything after that, my company will get 70%, and then you get 30%. So you can structure it, however you can get the owner to sign the contract, right? So we had deals where the owner got the first 2,000, and then we split 50-50 everything over that, right? So you can do something like that. So it just depends on if you see a deal where you can make 8,000 a month in total revenue, and the owner's okay with getting the first 4,000, and then you can get 60%, 70% over that. And then if it's still a good deal for you, you have to make that judgment, right? So how many will you acquire per month, per year? Write down your goal, and then commit to it. And then it's like, how do I find these? Once you have a goal, you gotta start calling, who has properties for rent, right? Craigslist, Zillow, Facebook. There's a lot of properties for rent. You can start calling the landlord. So you basically cold calling the landlord, seeing if they're interested in doing, a rent to own or Airbnb on their property, right? So commit to a goal, and then also commit to eventually you guys create a plan where it's a daily goal where I'm going to call 5 landlords a day. Right? Every day I'm going to call 5 landlords every single day. And I'm going to do that every 5 days a week. And so at the end of the week, you have called 25 landlords and made an offer, right? At the end of the month, you called 100 landlords and made an offer. So you do that, every month. Commit to a daily plan, not just, your goal is one, if your goal is one deal a month, you got to now commit to a daily plan. How you gonna get these leads coming in? How you gonna, get these deals in a contract, right? Determine your services. Decide what services you're going to offer, such as property management, cleaning, guest communication. Make sure you're offering a complete suite of services that will meet the needs of your clients. So we offer a complete done for you service where the owner does not have to do anything. So if it's like more of a management, the owner does have to pay for the furniture and the setup and all that and the staging. So it is owner's responsibility for all the setup and the staging, but we do provide them the contacts at the companies that we worked with and we use for the staging and for the setup of the furniture and everything and buying the furniture. But everything else is done for you after that. So we take care of pretty much all our communications, managing the cleanings and maintenance, managing pretty much everything from A to Z, and they don't have to do anything. They can be, we give them an option. They can be hands-on where they can see all the communication going on, or they can be hands-off where we just contact them once a month and we tell them the revenue, the profit, the expenses, right? Build a website that showcases your services, your team, your portfolio of properties. Make sure it's professional, user-friendly, as it will serve a point of contact for potential clients. So okay, let me see if I can find the website I use. So this is like the website I've been using for Chicago. It's I just have like a testimonial of someone that we worked with on how he doubled his profit uh, versus a normal rental. Just talked about kind of like a testimonial on Roger and what we did for him, and we have like all the benefits, the results, what happened, how much you made, all the benefits of you could potentially double your income, outsource everything. We have over 2,000 bookings, probably 4,000 by now. So all the benefits of what we do. We use softwares to change prices. And then here we have like after they decide to join, we have kind of a presentation on what we do. This is tell me about your property, all the information on your property. Let me just hit So after they fill it out, they go to site like they go to pretty much like a presentation on everything we do. So after they watch the presentation, they can be, they're ready to go. They can sign up. And then we waive this. So if they do sign up, we waive the $497. Get something is free, and they join. And then we give them a call. We meet them at the property. So use a website. Website's great for advertising. So we use websites for while we're sleeping. We have presentations that sell the services for us, right? So you get a website, make sure that it's working correctly, and you're basically just getting their name, phone number, email, all their information, so that you can contact them and negotiate, right? Network. Next thing you do is network with local property owners. I would go to all the real estate events, of course, network with real estate agents. A great strategy is real estate agents. We're getting a lot of leads from real estate agents where they maybe have a property they can't sell. It's in great condition. It could be an Airbnb. So if they listed it, it doesn't sell. We tell agents that, hey, your property could be cash flowing at the same time it's for sale. So you're doing a service to the homeowner, right? So if you connect with a lot of agents, tell the agents like, hey, while your property is listed, you can turn it into an Airbnb at the same time. And it's could be for sale and cash flow at the same time. So it's a benefit for you because the owner can wait on the sale, and then it's a benefit for the owner because he's making money, right? And then agents that can't sell a deal, or the listing expired, of course, they can refer to us as well. Attend local real estate events, real estate organizations, build a referral network to help you grow. So I would recommend, going to all the real estate events, finding landlords, finding investors. Fix and flippers are great clients, people that do fix and flip. So if you find a fix and flipper that is doing like 5, 6, 7 deals at a time, some deals take a little longer to sell on the market, right? So you can approach them and say, hey, while that deal is on the market, we can turn it into Airbnb and you can cash flow it while it's for sale. And I remember when I started doing Airbnb, I had like 14 rehabs on the market at the time. And they were staged. They were really good shape. And I did Airbnb with one deal, and all of my holding costs got paid for on one deal. When you're a flipper and you're getting like hard money loans, which is what we were doing, you're stressed out every month because you got to pay the hard money loan, you got to pay the taxes, you got to pay the insurance, utilities, you got to pay repairs, and any repairs are needed. So you're stressed out if it doesn't sell every month because you got to pay another $3,000 every month, right? But if you can get someone else to pay the $3,000, right, then you're not really stressed out anymore, right? That's what happened to me. Is I turned all my fix and flips into Airbnbs, and I went from like, I don't remember, negative 30 to 40,000 in loans and taxes and utilities for all these properties to like a positive 10 to 15 grand a month. So it was a swing of like 50, anywhere from 50,000 to 45,000 per month, just because of that one strategy, right? And of course, all those deals did sell, but you know the negative cash flow was eating away at my pocket. So it's like it's just amazing. You can with one idea, you turn it from negative 30 to 40 grand to positive 10, 15 overnight, right? So approach rehabbers, fix and flippers, approach landlords, of course, that have properties. And these guys could be a great repeat business for you that come to you over and over again, right? The system we use is simply Airbnb. That's going to collect the bookings, the payments, the software. We tried different platforms like VRBO and Booking.com and all these different platforms we tried, but it was just like we had property that, like with VRBO, we had people inside the property, and all of a sudden we get an email saying that their credit card was fraudulent and they're like destroying our property. And Booking.com, it's like you have to collect the payment yourself. You have to call them and collect the payment yourself. It's just there's just too much work. So we just simply use Airbnb. If there is a fraudulent person, they usually catch them pretty fast, and we really don't have any issues with the guests majority of the time. I mean, we did have, in the beginning where we started Airbnb, we had a lot of parties and all that because we didn't know what we were doing, right? And there was a lot of problems, and a lot of our Airbnbs got shut down because of people complaining because of a party going on or something, right? So you don't want that. So what we did, we started like a 5-point check where we check their credit card, their ID, their phone, their email, and then we make them agree, hey, if there is a party, police are called, we have your credit card on file, we have your ID, we're gonna charge you $2,500. So ever since then, we really haven't never had any problems. And if someone does book, they realize that we're serious, they cancel right away if they're trying to throw a party or something. And you don't want that. You don't want events, parties in your Airbnbs, and the reason is your neighbors are going to complain, and if your neighbors are complaining to the city, to the village, guess what? They're going to start looking at you, right? And they may eventually shut your Airbnb down. You want to be at peace with everyone, be at peace with your neighbors, be at peace with try to keep everything at peace, right? Hire a team. As your business grows, you may need to hire a team to help with tasks such as cleaning, property maintenance, guest communication. Make sure you hire reliable, trustworthy people who share your values. So cleaners, we have cleaners we've been working with for a long time in different areas too that are further away. We get cleaners from TaskRabbit. TaskRabbit is pretty good. Like you can go in there, look for cleaners, and then you can see their ratings, how good they are with other people. Same thing with contractors, handyman. And you just need maybe one or two good cleaners. You need two good cleaners, two good contractors, just in case, someone's not answering one day, right? We use assistants for communication. We have like assistants in the Philippines that are communicating with the guests 24/7. So we use Upwork.com to find assistants. As far as like softwares, we use Hospitable. It's kind of like a AI technology where someone says, "Hey, where's the parking?" Right, and then if you have an automatic reply, it's going to reply automatically. So the software helps the assistants work faster, and it does automatically sends like pretty much the check-in, check-out, all the communication from the beginning. Whether it's like a specific question where they ask, "So here, how far is this from here to there?" Then the assistant has to get in and type that out. Price Lab we use for pricing software. So in the wintertime, like right now in Chicago is the worst time, and we're the cheapest price properties in the area, so we're getting booked. A lot of people are complaining that they're not getting any bookings at all. We're still being booked every single weekend. And the reason is because we use pricing software, and I can see if I can go in. So you can see we were booked last weekend, we were booked this weekend, we were booked last weekend before that. So we're pretty booked. And the reason is, like, right now, most people are complaining that they're not getting any bookings. And the reason for that is because they're not using they're if in the wintertime, if you're priced like in the middle or the highest, then you're not going to get booked at all. But in the wintertime, you got to be the lowest. You got to be the cheapest deal, right? And then vice versa. In the summertime, we're kind of the opposite. Summertime, we are the highest price property, right? So a property in February is going to make maybe $1,000. That same property in June, July is going to make like maybe 8,000, 10,000 a month. And that's because of pricing software. So a lot of times the homeowners try it themselves and they just do like, hey, I'm just going to charge 200 a night, right? And they realize that they don't make any money because they're not constantly changing the pricing, right? Because the one weekend where they could have made, $1,000, they end up making only $400 because they just didn't have the price accurately, right? So the pricing software is very important to connect to your Airbnb, to change it all the time, and then we also have a furniture company we use. We use the Airbnb photography. So for professional pictures, what we do is we take the pictures ourselves, and then after we list it, we'll have Airbnb photography will request professional photos from Airbnb. And the reason being is because once there's Airbnb photography, it's kind of like Airbnb verified because an actual person from Airbnb walked the house. So my understanding is that they rank you higher on the searches when you're doing it, when you're doing it through Airbnb. So it's a good idea to do that through Airbnb and not do like VH2 or your own professional pictures. Just do it through them directly. Right? So last thing is marketing. Develop a marketing strategy that will help you reach your target market, grow your business. This could include advertising online, social media, content marketing, and more. You can do. We've done Facebook ads where we got deals. We've done Instagram ads. You can do YouTube ads. You can, with these Facebook ads, you can actually target like, hey, everyone that owns a house in 60641, right, or everyone that lives in 60641, right, and then your Facebook ad is going to say, hey, your Facebook ad is say, hey, hey, depending on what you're targeting, your strategy is just to go straight for the management, managing properties, or if your strategy is to go to, the rent to own route and then turn around and Airbnb it, or maybe it's owner financing if you're in a good market for that. So it depends on what your strategy is. We usually lead with rent to own. We usually say, hey, Mr. Owner, are you interested in maybe renting your house for a few years and eventually selling the property, if we can agree on a price today? And if they just say yes to that, they agree to renting it. They also agree to sell it if we agree on a price today, and you say, hey, we're going to buy it down the line in a couple of years. If they agree to that, then they just agree to rent to own. So we usually try to get our foot in the door with that we're going to do a rent to own with a property. And then if they reject the rent to own offer, we can turn around and say, hey, I know this offer didn't work for you, maybe the price or the monthly rent. But how about this? We can turn it into Airbnb. We can manage it for you, where you can make no rent. We can, we just get 25% of the total revenue, right? And then other ways, again, is contact the for rent section. Zillow, Facebook, Craigslist. Contact everyone for rent in these areas in your market, and it's just getting everyone to know who you are, and positioning yourself in front of people all the time, letting them know who you are and what you do, right? If no one ever knows who you are and what you do, guess what? You're not going to get any deals, right? And another way is realtors. Realtor.com is a great resource. Realtor.com. You can just go and type in a zip code and find all the realtors in that zip code, and you can reach out to them and tell them what you do. Um, and Zillow for rent section, Facebook for rent section, Craigslist for rent section. I think these three areas will probably have enough leads to get started. You probably have hundreds of leads to call right away. People that are already advertising their house for rent. So, and what's good about for rent is that they're already saying, I want to rent my house for $2,000 a month. All you gotta do is get them to agree if they're willing to sell the house on the option, right? Or if that's not the route you want, because you have to have, like I said, if you're doing rent to own, you turn into Airbnb, you have an investment to make there. But if you're just going for management, you can just come out with like, have you ever considered turning your property to a short-term vacation rental? That's what we do for a living. We help you maximize your profit. So what I like to tell owners is like, hey, we do charge 25%, but I believe that the way we maximize the pricing, maximize your listing with the professional pictures, with the optimization, we use keywords to optimize their listing. I believe that 25% will pay for itself, so you're not really paying for it because of how we are. We're making more money. We're making that 25% up from all the strategies that we're going to do to make more money on your property, right? So by following these steps, you can successfully start your Airbnb management company, grow into a thriving business. So yeah, if you guys are, and you can do it pretty fast. I know a guy that I met. I told him about the whole Airbnb strategy, and he said he went all in and did it. And then he ended up getting like 28 Airbnbs in like 12 months, right? So, I mean, you can do it pretty fast, especially if you're just managing it and you're not investing any of your own funds into the deal. You can pick up as many as you want, as quickly as you want. And the name of the game is getting your name out there, getting people to know who you are, what you do, getting people to getting in front of people that have properties for rent, getting in front of realtors that know sellers that need this kind of service as well, right? So if you have any questions, contact me here, email, interested in mentorship, where we can handhold you through this process of building your own Airbnb management company. We've done it for quite a few people already. You can reach out to us here, 773-417-6988, or shoot us an email, right? And I do have to end a bit early here, so we don't have time for the purpose-driven life, going through the Bible. But we're going to end early here, and I just want to encourage you guys, like, you can do this. Like, I used to work, like a full-time job, working 60, 70 hours a week, and I was making maybe 60 grand a year, right? And during that time, I thought, like, hey, I was the hardest worker, worked harder than everybody and everybody in the business, in the company. And always got a 3% raise, right? And that 3% raise of 60 grand was what, like $1,500, right? It's just something ridiculously like nothing, right? And I thought to myself, how can I ever afford, like buying rental? Like, I wanted to buy rental properties. Like, how can I ever afford to save up enough money if I'm just getting $1,500 more a year, right? So it's just amazing that one deal, like, you just got one deal, and it's by posted downtown area by Pilsen, and that one deal should make about 100,000 in revenue a year. So we should end up getting 25,000 a year off of one deal, right? And 25,000 a year raise, that would have taken me how many years? That would take me 20 years to get a $25,000 a year raise at my job, right? So what I'm saying is that you guys can do this. I mean, it's just a matter of learning it. And I was there where I couldn't figure out like how am I going to do this, right? And it's just a matter of first just sitting down and learning it, getting the knowledge, getting the wisdom, and then second, applying it, right? Using what you learn, applying it, and going out there and then just positioning yourself in front of sellers, in front of landlords, telling them what to do. And then if you're doing that every day consistently, getting in front of landlords, getting in front of realtors, getting in front of fix and flippers, and you're telling them what to do, and you're getting in front you're calling 3, 4, 5 a day, I guarantee you're going to get an Airbnb in the next, few months. It's just a matter of time, right? If you have a goal of like, I'm going to talk to 5 people a day, no matter what, and that's my goal, and I'm going to do that every single day. Right? I'm talking to 5 landlords a day, 5 fix and flippers, 5, even 5 realtors a day, tell them everything I do, and you just do that consistently. You're going to get people that say yes. It's just a matter of time, right? And you can do this, make 2023 the year that you pick up 10, 12 Airbnbs. That'd be the year that changes everything, right? That you go from, no cash flow to 10, 20 grand a month and cash flow from Airbnb. And this year you can do that, right? So it just takes the commitment, the game, use the strategies in this training, develop a game plan, develop a strategy, develop a marketing plan, and then just do it, right? And then don't deviate, right? Don't go for other shiny objects. Like if this is what you want to focus on, just do it. Put the blinders on, stop looking at other strategies, other things. We made 2.6 million over the last 6 years in revenue on Airbnb. So I know it works. I know that it works for us. I know it can work for you. We have partners that have brought us Airbnbs. They close the deal, and then we partner with them and split the profits. And then now they're cash flowing thousands of dollars a month in Airbnb as well. So I mean, I know we have brand new people who never done Airbnb doing it. So I mean, you can do it. You just have to put in the time, put in the effort, and just commit. Right, make a commitment to it, and let it be. And like I said, like I've been saying in past trainings, like wholesaling is getting tough. Like it's hard to wholesale deals. A lot of the deals that we have, some are not selling. A lot of them we have to go to the owner and say, hey, I know we offered 100,000, but the highest offer is only 80,000. A lot of our listings aren't selling. We still have a lot of wholesale deals, a lot of listings out there, but it's tougher, right? So we're kind of shifting, like, hey, let's shift to Airbnb. Let's shift to rent to own. Let's do that shift because the market is shifting, right? So if you shift, when the market's shifting, you shift. You're going to be, hopefully, you're going to end up making more than before, right? So do the shift. Hopefully, I'm telling you, like every wholesaler, if they're saying the market's not slowing down, they're lying to you because it is. Fix and flippers are not there. Interest rates are really high. So you got to shift and learn rent to own, learn Airbnb, learn owner financing if that's in your market. Like maybe you're in a good market for that. But learn these strategies and then just commit, right? And just go at it and develop your plan, stick to it. And, don't do the whole shiny object syndrome where you see something nicer and then you stop this and you go somewhere else, right? The only time it works is if you commit to it and you just go all in and you just say no to everything else and because you know what you're doing, right? You know what your goal is, you know what you're doing, and you just put the blinders on. So God bless. We'll be back live next week, here Monday at 1. And I have a group too that you guys can join if you want. It's I have a live meetup group. It's in we started a meetup group at my church. The Orlando Real Estate Investors Meetup at Faith. It's actually live in my church. We're gonna go live there once a week on Thursdays at 6 p.m. And if you guys want to join this group, you can. It's free. You can join, and you can always ask questions on there live as well. and join here. Okay. So God bless. We'll see you back live next week at 1 p.m.